everyone. Good morning. This is the Morning Blitz Sports Talk. I'm your host, AJ, and I'm on the road right now. I am driving around trying to see things, different sporting events, and all that good stuff. So, let's get to it. Let's do the No Huddle, where we're going to be covering some football stuff, some football news, and let's get into it. First of all, shame on Northwestern Miami High School for suspending Teddy Bridgewater. They suspended him because he was spent $70,000 of his own money to help his players recover, get to practice, get home, and have meals. Why would a high school football program suspend a man who went out of his way to take care of his players? I don't understand that, man. 100% that bothers me. I think, if anything, the school should have praised Teddy Bridgewater for what he did to that program, led him to a championship, and all that good stuff. Let's be fair. How many NFL players have done what he has done? Now, listen, Deion Sanders is on a whole nother level. He's managed to take football programs, make them the eye of entertainment. However, Teddy Bridgewater has done it quietly. He has taken a high school program. I think he went to Northwestern Miami High School, for as far as I remember. And if that's the case, he took his own former high school, coached it up, invested his own money into it. Let me ask you something. If Northwestern Miami High School suspended him because he spent $70,000 of his own money, does that tell you, and let's be real, does that tell you, are they embarrassed? Could they not provide what Teddy Bridgewater was able to provide? And on another note here, he also managed. Now, I think the reason why the Northwestern Miami got a little heated about this is maybe they didn't even know he put his money into it, which is understandable. The other problem I have with this is, as soon as he went and asked for any donations, he was not asking for people to actually, we need money, but he explained that he spent his own money to provide for his own program and asked for donations for families and whatnot. I'll tell you what I think. I think a parent saw the post. Possibly their child is a bench warmer. Would probably never see the day of the field, and it's like, you know what? How dare he, former NFL player, or current NFL player, because remember, he did sign with the Detroit Lions when they did the playoff run. How dare he ask us for money where he has money and we're a low poverty area, whatever, and just became a total Karen, reported him to the high school, and then the high school's like, oh, we're getting backlash over his post, so I think we have to do something. So they suspended him. If I am Northwestern Miami high school players right now and their parents who support Teddy Bridgewater, I would 100% go on strike. I would walk out and refuse to even put a penny into the Northwestern Miami high school area until they undo the unjustifiable suspension of Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's stupid. I think it's unfair. And I think Teddy Bridgewater deserves better than what he is getting. Footnote. Let's go to some NFL news. That pesky rookie right there that's pissing off the Cincinnati Bengals because he will not sign that contract due to the verbiage. Wake up, Mike Brown. You're the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, who surprisingly has managed to have a really decent run since you drafted Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Let me make this very clear. Your franchise, you are a cheap ass. You will not go and spend the money where the money is needed, and you added a verbiage because you do not want to pay the guarantee money. if he left the team or whatever the situation is. Listen, there's a difference between saying, "Oh, we'll avoid all these whatever on your contract." Why not just make it, change it up a bit? Don't take away the guy's money, pay the man, and do it as incentives. What you're doing is you're telling him just because you never, if in an event we release you, you ain't going to get your money. No, convert some of that into incentives. He can't. Now, supposedly a lot of NFL teams have done this in the past. If a player gets drafted and has a spotty record, unfortunately, I did not do my homework into the guy. I don't know if he had like criminal charges or anything, which would lead to these. But then again, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. They are known as being a very, very cheap organization. Not surprised the way they handle the situation. And listen, all he has to do is hold out until November 11th and then re-enter the NFL draft. That's all that gentleman has to do. And if I'm them, if I'm him and I'm his agents and family, I would just tell him to hold out and then re-enter the draft. But the irony could be is I don't know if I don't know how the re-entry works. I don't know if it's like, well, if he goes back, Cincinnati can't draft until something round. If I'm him, I would really go over the rules on how the re-enter the draft works. Because let's say something happens. He re-enters the draft, no team drafts him, and then Cincinnati at the last pick of the 7th round, the Cincinnati Bengals drafts him again. Then he's screwed. Then he loses more money, and then the Bengals will be like, sure, here. Listen, it could be a ploy. And if I'm him, I'll bite my pride, try to negotiate a more of an incentive-driven contract instead of what they are doing. That way, he gets his money. Cincinnati Bengals get whatever he gets, and he doesn't risk a potential double jeopardy situation when he re-enters the draft. That's my thing. I don't know exactly. I have to go. I'll do more research, so tomorrow morning we'll actually have a better idea of how that would work. Seattle Seahawks have also announced that they're going to be revealing a rivalry uniform for quote-unquote rivalry games. It's in the same concept of Major League Baseball's City Edition jerseys or the NBA statement jerseys. It's an obscene concept now. But listen, I love the alternative helmets, the jerseys the NFL is now allowing to do. I love it. I'm a sucker for that shit. I actually think it's great. Do I think Seattle, I guess supposedly Nike and Seattle are teaming up to do something really ridiculous, which I'm not surprised. If you look at the Oregon Ducks history, they're probably going to turn the Seattle Seahawks into the Oregon Ducks of the NFL, and it's going to be ferociously bad. That's just the way I look at it. Another notion here. Let's go a little bit past football. Let's go right into Major League Baseball. The draft recently just happened. A bunch of people from my home state, Massachusetts, a Lynn native, got drafted. Damn it, I don't remember what team it was I drafted him. I want to say it was the Royals, possibly. Lynn native got drafted. Congratulations to him and his family. Normally, not a lot of Lynn players get drafted into the next level of professional sports. Good for him, good for his family. I hope it's nothing but give him generational wealth for him and his future and family. Another thing to add on to this, I call this is the no huddle. So I try to talk to everything in like within a minute. So I'm gonna wrap up real quick and then move on to my next and then get out of the no huddle and go into take it to the rim and cover the NBA a little bit. So with that being said, I think realistically, Major League Baseball, since they added the pitch count, I think it's called the pitch count clock or something, they kind of sped up the game a bit. Let's do everyone a favor and let's get rid of the 152, 160 something games. Let's cut it down to like, I don't know, 100 games. 100 games, 50 home, 50 away. Let's just call it I was never a fan of the 160 plus games, and then once the playoffs comes, they're in series. Like you're going in way too deep, and you're playing way too often. Injury. I was. I'm just never a fan of the 100. I'm not even a fan of 100 games for baseball. I know some like future collegiate baseball leagues have like 72 games, which I even then I don't like, but I think that's more feasible than 100 plus games. And that's my take. I also don't like the idea that NHL expanded to 82 games. I mean, you play 82. You play. I'm right back, guys. To a saying. All right, I'm having some typical difficulty. If this uh, oh, everyone's still with me here. Sorry about that, guys. I keep getting phone calls. um, so what I'm gonna so with with that being all said, with the sports news going on, we have a lot of things going on. And I will reconnect with you guys because I'm having it. Oh my god, I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Connection thing is crazy right now. I had to get somewhere where I had stronger connection. So, with all this being said, we have to put into a realism here that professional sports, it's very hard to have players, even good athletes, to maintain their body at a respectful manner where they are not, what is the word I'm looking for? That they're not essentially beating their bodies up and they don't never properly heal from these injuries. Now, going back to my complaints about all these games, you have the NHL going to 84 games. They added two more games. Listen, you have 32 teams. I never understand the concept of expanding to an additional two more. You have 32 teams. You're telling me you can't split 82 games among 32 teams? Craziness. And let's talk about NBA. When are they going to follow suit and expand it to 32? Rumor has it that they're looking at places like Las Vegas. I guess the Long Island Nets are doing 6 games, I think, in Montreal. So the rumor is they may do they're even exploring a possibility of an NBA team in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, which we know Canada is kind of a rough sell for NBA teams. And then Major League Baseball. They're talking about expansion. We already know Las Vegas is in the works because the A's are going there. However, Portland, Oregon's a good option to put a Major League Baseball team. You also have Nashville. You have Charlotte, North Carolina. I think, the big sell right now is bringing back the Montreal Expos. That's what a lot of people want. If in the perfect world, you would put a team in Montreal and Portland, Oregon. But I don't see Montreal ever getting a team again. I think it's going to be more of in the veins of like another Florida team or a Tennessee team or North Carolina. And it's funny, there's not a lot of teams in the Southeast. There's only Miami, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. I think that's about it. That's not a lot of teams in the Southeast. So, I mean, that's something that they would need to kind of fix there. Let's also talk about the other thing. Football, professional football right now. You have the NFL, you have the CFL, the UFL. UFL is the Professional Spring League, which is the XFL USFL merger. You have indoor football, like you have the IFL, which is the Indoor Football League. You have the National Arena League, which I think is a joke. It's essentially semi-pro football played in an arena. The field attempt to bring down Arena Football League, bring back Arena Football League, and now they're calling the Arena Football One, which is ran by Jeff Fisher as the commissioner, and Jeff Kurtz, which was the original commissioner of the AF2 and the president of the last time we had a really good Arena Football League. And then you have all these bunch of subpar tier 2, tier 3 leagues. The United Soccer League is becoming a big thing again, and they're doing regulation, promotion aspect to that sport. And then you have other things such as you have Major League Soccer's. Listen, if you told me that Major League Soccer was going to expand the way it did and get popular as they did, I probably wouldn't believe you. I do know the owners of Major League Soccer are not happy about the United Soccer League bringing in regulation promotion onto that level of because they finally got Major League Football. They finally got the Major League Soccer over, and now it's like crap. Now they have to try to fight off the regulation promotion aspect of that, which is what real soccer or football you want to call it does. 16, 17 games for the NFL right now. They do 17 games right now. They're going to expand to 18. I say don't do that. I say stick at the 17. I like the odd number of games because what that does is it guarantees a certified 100% person who makes the playoffs. If you go back to like even number of games, then guess what? We go back to tiebreakers and who did this and who did that. And I hate that. I hate tiebreakers. Honestly, in a perfect world, all sport games will have odd number of games. So that way, people who make the playoffs actually make the playoffs. Why is it a divisional winner of 7-9 hosts a goddamn game? That makes no goddamn sense to me. If you put an odd number of games, if you go, let's say you're the NFC South, the Carolina Panthers go 9-8, the Saints go 8-9, and two other teams go like freaking whatever. Yeah, you're the division winner. However, just because you won your division should not give you that top proceeding. When the Detroit Lions proposed to go by overall win and loss record, that is the right way to do it. Now, division winners should get something in return. I do agree with that. They should get something in return. So, what they should do, and this is a crazy concept. I've had this concept for years, and I did this with a gaming league, a video gaming league, that you put all the top winners, all the division winners, and you put them into a lottery. Essentially, it's a lottery roulette. You spin the wheel. Whoever of the top 4 division winners win. Whoever wins that lottery gets home, regardless of their overall record. I think that would have been a very interesting way that would kind of spice up the playoffs a bit, or possibly do a reseeding. I don't know, but that's my crazy thought process there. NBA Summer League. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna go and watch some highlights, and then tomorrow morning I'll cover more. This episode may be slightly short. It's supposed to be an hour and a half. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. There's a lot of stuff going on my personal end. Plus, I am currently in the middle of working to get a really special guest for the show tomorrow or possibly this Friday, and the guest would be the president of the International Football Alliance. If I can get this gentleman on from the IFA, it would be a big thing for the IFA. It would be a big thing for here on the Hardcore Sports Network and on the Morning Blitz Sports Doc, being hosted by your host here, AJ. You can also find me on S&W, the podcast, all that stuff. A little cheap little plug in there. We also are proudly to extend out here that sports collectively is our escape. Similar to if you go to a movie theater, mental health is a big deal, and all of us need that escape from reality. Sometimes we get a little bit too passionate about sports, and in some arguments, fighting, and other ridiculousness. But I want to be real with you guys right now. What happened, and the reason why I'm going back to the whole Teddy Bridgewater thing worries me a lot about how politics can potentially ruin a good man's approach to a program for kids they're not privileged enough, or kids that may never even make it to the pro leagues, and that's their only escape from a harsh reality and a harsh life. Not the best homes. Let's be real here. He spent $70K. Food, transportation, even mental health and physical health resources to make sure those kids are good. You're telling me just because he made a post asking for donations and explained how much he put into it, that possibly one or more parent got pissy about it and complained to the school? Or there was some type of code of conduct that he broke without talking to his athletic director, which is fine. I get that. But you're going to suspend a man that put in good faith to become a role model to those children. Listen, you know how many professional athletes are not even role models? They don't care. We have guys in the NFL that beat up women. They're still playing. You have guys that are convicted of the worst things you can think of. They're still playing in the NFL right now. They're not role models. They're athletes, billionaires, crybabies that run around and do shit that we all did as kids, and we should have got paid for it too. Also, another pet peeve. I don't like the NIL. It's turned it's turned collegiate football into the NFL. The transfer portal is essentially their version of the trade in the free agent market. That is absolutely hard. It diminishes what academic athletes is, and they have to get away with it. They have to remove it, modify it, make it where players can't transfer just because they're not getting the money that are promised. That needs to be abolished immediately or restructured. I don't like the fact that another school can go and say, "Hey, listen, how much are they paying you?" Well, we'll double that if you come and leave and play for our school. I think that's wrong. That once again, that takes away what an academic, athletic, the athletic department even means. Academic at the end of the day, what it should have been, and this is I think all professional sport leagues need to change the draft situation. They can't enter the draft until after they graduate college. So they have to do their 4 years in college. They have to get a degree to be eligible to enter the NFL, NHL, NBA draft. NBA and baseball need to get rid of the high school draft aspect of it. They need to get rid of that, switch it over to collegiate. We have to force a better system for the future of these. There's stories of athletes who left the college way too soon, never got the diploma, and then when they retired, they had no money. They got robbed from family members, broke and desperate. It's crazy. Here at the Morning Blitz Sports Talk, I don't just talk about sports and news. I talk about the reality of what being an athlete, a coach, even a fan's all about. I played football. I've coached football. I've coached my oldest son play. I've seen what my oldest son went through when he played middle school, and because the team was, and I hate to say it like this, but the team was so bad that my son played every single position. Does that mean he was a gifted athlete? Yeah, of course he was. Problem was they played him until he was completely no longer wanted to play sports anymore. They beat him into the ground, not mentally but physically, because he worked so hard and he wanted to lift his team and put his team on his back and win, and it just didn't pan out like that. And because of that, it gave him bad taste. Parents can be really hard too on their kids about sports. I have a friend, my oldest son's buddy told me on how his parents were trying to groom him to be the next, collegiate lacrosse player and possibly play on the pro level, to the point where he never had any free time. He was always on clubs that traveled during the off season, and strict rules, strict diet, strict this. Some people say, well, he's looking for the best interest of the child's future. No, the best interest of a child's future is making sure the kid is heard, taken care of, and having a healthy relationship between parents and child, not because their parents are looking at them as a freaking cash grab later on in life, or living through them because the parents failed as an athlete. I think that's absolutely bogus. Tomorrow morning, it'll be a more structured show. Today was a little bit crazy. I had way too much stuff going on, and I once again want to apologize for the late start. But this episode's probably going to end a little bit sooner than what I want it to. And once again, it's not by choice. It's because I have a lot of things that I have to do on a personal level that needs to be taken care of. My rule is families first, and it always will be first. So I need to take care of myself. But good news is I'll be back. It's Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. Today is the debut episode. So Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. right here on the Hardcore Sports Network, where we'll be covering all sports and all news. Actually, during the actual active NFL season, I am planning to be going to the Patriots and Ravens game in Baltimore this season. So I will be live streaming in Baltimore, doing a full coverage of the breakdown of the game between the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm hoping to do another one with next season for baseball, basketball, and NHL. And if I can, it will be covered right here on the Morning Blitz Sports Talk Show, because that's what I do. That's what I love. I love sports. I love to talk about it, and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, I have to cut this short, guys. I deeply apologize for that. But starting tomorrow, we'll be going up. I think it's either an hour or an hour and a half is what we're supposed to be on for. But because I have so much stuff going on a personal level, that kind is priority over the show. But either way, you guys have a great day. Have a great morning, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to end this.